So we have multiple sessions today. The first one I'd like, if I've covered previously, and if you've not implemented, you've got to learn, okay? That's your front and back, and I'll explain it in the context of hotels, so you will see what's happening, okay? If, let's say, when I was 20, okay, let's say when I was 20, and if I checked online, there's no Facebook back then, but let's say if I checked on some social media, and someone says, you know what, I can show you a way to scale to 100-room hotels with very little money. Okay, I would have been intrigued, right? And I remember back in 2003 or 2002 or 3, I think 3 probably, because I went to a seminar near Heathrow in one of the hotels. And they were back then teaching about buy-to-let, nothing else. So I sat there for, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours. And I came back and I said, what's BTL? Like, what's rocket science about that? I'll go and just buy one myself. So which is what I did. So I never bought a course or anything. It was a free day. I think it was a free day or maybe like a 20, 30 pound a day. Was nothing major. But back then, if someone had said, okay, I can teach you how to scale to 100 rooms, do you think I would have paid 3,000 back then? 2003? Okay. Now you're probably looking at 10,000 plus. Someone was teaching this, okay? And you were talking about, you know, this morning about someone who's charging 52,000 pounds, right? Try to understand the back end and the front end of this, okay? So let's say in the context of, I go and scale this to 100 rooms, okay? So we're talking about Lease hotels, for those recording. We're talking about Lease hotels. I scale this to 100 rooms. How much money do I need on average? So you've taken one, Jennifer. That's a 9-bed. And you've agreed 22 something, 22,500, right? That's how much each room? 2.5 grand, 2.5 grand each room. Yeah, something like that, average, right? 2.5 grand. The average for the Lease hotels in this region is 2.5 to 3 grand. Okay, that's your average. If you want to pay, if you pay anything over, we're talking about Blackpool. If you pay anything over 3 grand, you're overpaying. Okay, 3 is the top end. If you pay anywhere between 2 to 3, you're good. 2.5 is good. 3 is good. One agreed this morning right in front of you. That's a 15-bed. I agreed 37.5. That's 2.5 grand each room. Yeah, 2.5 grand each room. Yeah, and that's an average deal, not a great deal, just an average deal. Okay. How much money do I need to scale this to 100 rooms? Even if I took the higher average of 3,000, I only need about 300,000, right? Yes, no? Mm-hmm. If someone wants to do the numbers, I'm more than happy to share the numbers. Again, I'm good with numbers, so I can kind of do them in my head. Not a good practice, always do them on a spreadsheet, but I just have this habit of doing it in my head because I'm fast with numbers, okay? 100 rooms times 50 per night on average. Do you want to, someone wants to do this? 100 into 50 per night, 50 room, 50 pound per night on average, including the smaller rooms, the family rooms, and double rooms, and so on, right? 5,000 pound a day, times that by 182, which is 50% occupancy. Even though I can push the occupancy by to 65, but let's say 50 to be on the safe side. How much is that? 910,000. If I included a few bits and pieces of breakfasts, so you could touch £1 million, right? Okay. I know for sure your expenses are anywhere between 50 to 60%. I've already done the numbers. Okay. 50 to 60%. Even if you take the higher number, which is 60%, I would potentially make just shy of 400 grand, right? Yes. That's over 100% return on money invested. So if I invested 300 grand and take 100 rooms, which is what's happening, you guys can see that, I'll make all of that money back within a year. And that's with automation, having managers, and me investing only maybe 10 to 15 hours a week. Initially investing more time setting it up, but once it's set up, I'll only be investing 2-3 hours a week on each. Okay. Now, do you think making 100% return on your money invested is good money? Now, going back to the main strategy, front end, back end. Now I can take the same and consult other people and make another 300 grand. Yes? Yes, no? Yeah. Hold on. Let me get to the whole, let me show you the whole picture so you can see. Let me show you the whole picture so you can see where I'm coming from. Okay. Now, the same people who I'm going to teach are already, 90% of UK is already invested in buy to let. Yes? They're either remortgaging or they're getting mortgages, they're refinancing their portfolio, they're getting bridge loans, they're getting development loans, they're getting all sorts of loans, right? Yes. Do you think I can make another 300 grand when the whole system is set up and all these people are learning and getting connected? Do you think I can make another 200-300 grand in finance a year? Yes, no? Yeah. Okay. Do you think I can make another 100 grand by providing other services like sourcing them deals, providing builders, architects, planners, consultants, another 100 grand? Wait, I'm gonna come to your front and back end. Thank you, but I wanna make a point for everyone. Okay, by investing 300 grand, I can make £1 million a year by including my front end and back end, and by incorporating what I call PE and club, which Fortune you're a part of. Okay, I could potentially attract as much investment out as I want by providing free mentoring training or consulting, and attract as much money as I like into the system. Is that right? Yes, no? Okay. Yes. Look, we work on potential, right? And it's not just potential, but you're a part of that potential, aren't you? Okay. Elaborate, please. Mm-hmm. Let's just not do the nitty-gritty. Okay. I can cover all of that in as much detail as you like. Okay. My only question to you is, this is getting recorded. My only question to you is that you've invested X amount of money. Are you getting value out of it or not? By return, as well as by the learning that you're getting. Yes, no? That is all that matters. That is all that matters. A lot more, because it's getting compounded every year. Okay, because remember, I'm not going to just stick around to 100 rooms. This is going to scale to much further. Okay. It's not about the strategy that you're looking at. It's understanding the front end and the back end of it. I want you to understand the front end and the back end of this. Okay. As representatives, okay, you can actually take this and apply it in business. Okay. I just had an email, and let me share with you the nitty-gritty of sometimes how we lose things. Okay. I just had an email from one of the collaborations I had. I introduced him back in early 20. Okay. And just got an email saying, invoice me £250 for a case that you introduced. I had broken that collaboration. That collaboration was gone. It was done. 3 months later, he didn't perform. I left it. Okay, so we broke the collaboration. But an introduction that was done back in the days got a remortgage of 1.1 million. 1.1 million. That's a 10 grand commission. He owes me 50% of that. That's 5 grand. He's paying me 250 now. That's your nitty-gritty of losing money when you're looking at the bigger picture. Okay? Does that make sense? I don't care about. I need you to get a gist of this. Get a gist of this, okay? I am not worried about losing that 4,750. I'm looking at the bigger picture of getting a valuation of 100 million. If I start concentrating, oh, I'm losing 4 grand or 5 grand or here and there, I'll never be able to build it to 100 million. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's not about the nitty-gritty of it. It's about understanding the overall structure of how you do this. Okay, and this front and back end effectively applied in any business. Any business. I mean, you could sell flowers. Okay, and I will show you how to apply that as a front and back end and still make a lot of money. Okay, because remember, there's someone walking in and only wants to spend £5 for some flowers. But you don't know the next person walking in, probably worth 100 million, and wants something amazingly special for her woman and is prepared to spend 10 grand. But if you have that strategy in place to attract, then you can make that money. Does that make sense? Okay. Most people just focus on selling one product and one service. And that's where they struggle, because when you look at any product or service, it always has an upward pressure of competition, because unless you bring something new, it always goes through the face of competition and eventually dies. Any business, you can look at any business, and anywhere between 10 to 100, 120 years later, the business is dead. Yes, no? That's because they brought something new, and all of a sudden everyone started copying, and then obviously upward pressure of price, competition, and then it eventually gets to a point where it's not making any money. And unless it brings something new into the picture. Okay? Yes. That's right, yes. The problem is, what do you bring new to a static, mature business? Sometimes it's not easy. I'm not saying you can't, I'm saying it's not easy. Okay, so if you look at this hotel, I'm not going to go and spend a £250,000 on this trying to make it amazing, while I'm not going to be able to make the returns on this. Okay, so you can't. The only thing that you can bring new to these hotels is some sort of themes. Okay, some sort of theme, something that attracts more people than